Alice Wahome, who is the legislator for Kandara in Murang'a, called a press conference yesterday, 2nd of January 2020. The main objective of that presser was for her to respond to the comments of David Murathe, which we have covered in a previous video on this channel. But what really attracted my attention was where she held her press conference. For one to make the kind of statement she did, you need courage. You need encouragement. Because in my view, it is the boldest thing she has ever done in her entire political career since she entered politics in 2013. Well, let me not keep in suspense. She called a press conference at a hotel in Malindi. Now. I know of a certain very important Kenyan, very high-ranking Kenyan, who always, every year, must have their holiday in Malindi. I don't know the reason why. And even if they're busy with other engagements, they'll usually fly out to those engagements and then fly right back to Malindi every year. And that man I'm talking about is His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto. Hii ni kali, tena kali sana. And that is not all. At the beginning of making her statement, she was reading something word for word. And that wording, with some difficult words that gave her a problem. Although this lady is very learned, she's a lawyer by profession. Those words sounded suspiciously close to what Dr. William Ruto would say. And I guess that is no surprise to those following politics closely. Because Alice Wahome is firmly in Team Tanga. Now, there's something very significant that has happened here that I want you to take careful note of. Team Tanga have said a lot of things. They have released a lot of statements. But never before have Team Tanga directly attacked the head of state. This is the first time. Because what Alice Wahome said in Malindi, Honorable Alice Wahome, is that Uhuru Kenyatta is the problem. Uhuru Kenyatta is the problem that has caused the economic troubles we have today. That's what she said. Uhuru Kenyatta is also the one who has brought the political mercenary called Raila Odinga on board with the BBI, which she believes should be shelved. She also said, that it was out of question for Uhuru Kenyatta to be Prime Minister in 2022 after serving for 10 years as head of state. She did not mince her words. She said that was totally unacceptable. Well, there's one thing that is obvious. Uhuru Kenyatta remaining on the scene, President Uhuru Kenyatta, would frustrate the ambitions and plans of Dr. William Ruto. In my view, David Murathe's words concerning the future of President Uhuru Kenyatta in Kenyan politics has really shaken Team Tanga. Because it has caused people to come out of the holiday, abandon the holiday, at least momentarily, and call a press conference close to some holiday resort, maybe even the one they were staying in. Why didn't this thing wait until Monday? What was so urgent in responding to Murathe as soon as possible? Because, for instance, if you own a business and you're on holiday, the only thing that will bring you out of your holiday is your office burning down, or a crisis so serious it cannot wait for Monday. The choice of Alice Wahome to make this statement on behalf of Team Tanga is also very significant. The idea, of course, was to give the impression that many people within the president's own backyard, Central Province, are also not for the president remaining around after 2022, which of course cannot be true. If you understand anything about Kenyan politics, you'll immediately know that cannot be true. Yaani hata nyinyi mnataka mtu wenyu aende nyumbani na kuna chance ya mtu wenyu kubaki? Not in Kenya. Maybe in another country. Maybe in Timbuktu. Lakini not in Kenya. Now, Alice Wahome also spoke a few days ago at the funeral of gallant second liberation hero, Charles Rubia. The funeral was in her constituency. And during her speech, because I listened to it many times carefully, she took every opportunity to throw barbs at the president. And pretend she was not throwing them. Or can I call them soft barbs? Which I guess was necessary because she was hosting the president. Not the opportune time to go on an all-out assault against the head of state. But you could still see she was nervous. Even as she reminded the president about another great Kenyan, Bildad Kaggia, who, like Rubia, also hails from Kandara constituency. Now, bringing up the name of Bildad Kaggia was a barb. In my view, it was a punch under the belt against the president. Why? Because Bildad Kaggia, although he was one of the Kapenguria 6, the people, the 6 gallant Kenyans who were imprisoned at Kapenguria, including Jomo Kenyatta himself, Bildad Kaggia's political career was frustrated by Uhuru Kenyatta's dad, Kenya's founding father, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. And it is not too difficult to realize why Bildad Kaggia and Jomo Kenyatta could not see eye to eye. And I'm going to illustrate this with just one example. Now, Bildad Kaggia is one of the very few Kenyans to ever resign from a plum government job. Incidentally, Kaggia was the very first MP for Kandara. He was elected in the 1963 independence elections on a Kanu ticket. And he was promptly appointed Assistant Minister for Education. And he resigned that post in 1964. Now, the reasons for his resignation tell us a lot. Kaggia resigned because the government reneged on its promise to return land confiscated by the colonial Mzungus from Africans to the rightful owners. Period. And we all know how the old man Jomo was with this thing called land. Let me just leave it at that. Now, many Kenyans also don't know that Oginga Odinga's opposition party, the Kenya People's Union, which was banned, many people don't know who the deputy president or the deputy party leader was. It was Bildad Kaggia. And this great hero of the independence struggle ended up in jail in 1968 because of his association with the KPU. He was imprisoned for holding an illegal meeting in Homa Bay. Anyway, Kaggia passed on, of course, in 2005. And it is very sad that this is one of the great unsung heroes of Kenya. Kenyans, even Kenyan voters, apparently, don't like people who fight for the masses. They don't like selfless politicians. They frustrate them. They never elect them. But you wait until the day they die. Everybody's at their funeral, singing their praises, and saying how they supported so-and-so, how they're with so-and-so another day. I'm telling you, Kenyans need more than prayers. Anyway, now you understand why bringing up the name of Bildad Kaggia at that funeral was a calculated move, a calculated barb, if I can call it that, against the president. And of course, Alice Wahome took this a notch higher in Malindi yesterday. Now, in my view, and I know not all of you will agree with me, it is okay to attack a politician. It is okay to criticize them constructively. But if you're a senior politician, a member of parliament, you need to give us an alternative. For example, you don't want the BBI, but you also want democratic space expanded. How? Because we know the BBI has greatly expanded democratic space in Kenya. So if we do away with the BBI, what are we going to have as an alternative? Because we all know it is the BBI that is holding the country called Kenya together. It is not perfect. Yes, it is possible that some people may be using it for their own personal political ambitions. Yes, that could be correct. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying there's a possibility. But what is the alternative? Because I put it to them, if there was no BBI, there would be no democratic space. If there was no BBI today, even with its flaws, there'd be chaos in Kenya. Why can't anybody see that? Some people have been so blinded by personal selfish ambition that they can see nothing else. You give us an alternative, okay? Don't give us these cheap shots you're taking at the president, who despite everything was very brave in embracing the BBI. It was a brave thing to do. It wasn't normal. You need to acknowledge that. Then give us an alternative, okay? We are tired of these cheap shots, without giving Kenyans a solution. And I'll even give you an idea. Why don't you come up with your own BBI? Let's see how many communities you can bring together on the table. Let's see how significant that is in holding the country together. Then we'll take you seriously. But these cheap shots, mara kwa mara, they're getting boring and tiresome, in my view. Now for the bad news. Obviously, this latest move by Team Tanga is a clear sign that the gloves are off. And in this year 2020, we should expect, shall I say, kivumbi, ama mama ya kivumbi yote. Loose translation, the mother of all political battles ever witnessed in Kenya. Clearly this thing is going to escalate, which is not good news. And one good reason why it is not good news, because there are other very serious priorities we should be looking at. For instance, looming hunger, the economy, etc., etc. But all our leaders are doing, is engaging in cheap shots, to excite the masses. Well, let's see how long you'll keep the masses excited as they get hungrier and broker by the day. Let's just see. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha. Everything is gloomy in Kenya at the moment, especially the economy. And in many parts of the world, it is the same. So why should any sane person talk about making money in an economy where there's no money? Only a nutcase would do that, right? Actually, wrong. Because history has repeatedly shown us that the best time to make some serious money is when the economy is suffering. And the more the economy is suffering, the better your chances of making some serious money. To date, the American Great Depression of the 1930s still holds the record of producing the highest number of self-made millionaires ever in the history of the United States. People like this guy who produced the game of Monopoly, which somehow made people feel great, because it involved handling dollar bills, which in real life in those days, they were not able to handle much. Okay, I understand you. Facts are great. But what does one do faced with the harsh realities of no money? Glad you asked. Because I've just completed producing an amazing documentary, a 3-part documentary, titled How to Prosper in a Gloomy Economy. People on this channel are always talking about how my videos have changed their lives. But folks, this is the real deal. And what is more, there are no theories here, only very practical stuff. Let me just give you one example of what I mean. If you've ever lived in a foreign country, you know how difficult it is for a foreigner to start a business, even a small business. Well, I was once stuck in a foreign country with no money, and I successfully started a business. And what's more, and I believe very important, without breaking any of the laws of that country. It can be done. Yeah, and people often make the big mistake of assuming that the most important component in a successful business is money. It isn't. It is simply a well thought out ideal idea coupled with a brilliant way of finding customers quickly and cheaply. That's it. My amazing documentary will hold your hand and help you find the ideal idea for where you are right now, even if it's your own country, going through perhaps the most difficult economic times in its history. I want you to change your mindset right now and decide that every time you see the word problem, every time you see a news item with a problem, a serious problem people are facing, replace that word problem with the word opportunity. In my documentary, I not only tell you precisely how to do this, I give you practical, real life examples of how it was done before or how it has been done before by many, some of whom I helped and some of whom have never met me. So, take action right away. It is okay to celebrate Christmas, but just make sure that you hit the year 2020 running. Because I know, you know, and I don't need to tell you, that those who will reach 2020 still waiting for something to happen and not doing anything about it are going to have a very difficult 2020. The full documentary costs only $54 or 5,400 shillings. But if you want to order only one part of the documentary at a time, which you can, it will cost you only $19 per part. And I've already told you it's in 3 parts. And there's more. Yeah, if you order all 3 parts together, I will throw in the amazing ebooks, 101 brilliant business ideas that will thrive in Kenya or anywhere else in the world, and also how to get plenty of customers right away. I will send you those 2 ebooks completely for free. I highly recommend that you don't waste any time in making this investment in the year 2020 that will make all the difference.